I'm here in my Chrome browser and I'm just going to be working inside the JavaScript console. To get to the JavaScript console, you can click View, Developer, JavaScript console. If you like shortcuts, you can also just do Command Option I if you're on Mac, and that'll pull it up. Seems like Command Option J also does the same thing. Anyway, let's move on. This is going to be the first part in a pretty long series, potentially ongoing series of episodes about just JavaScript fundamentals. These are going to be really quick little episodes, so if you're totally new to this, this is for you. If you've been doing JavaScript for a while, this may be a little boring. There'll be more interesting stuff coming down the pipe later. So let's get started. An object in most programming languages, including JavaScript, is a data structure that can contain data and some sort of functions or behavior. So in JavaScript, when we want to create an object, we just type two curly braces. And this is what's known as an object literal. Anytime you hear the word literal, it means that you typed in something other than object. So I could, or let me explain that differently. When you hear the word literal, it means you typed in kind of a special syntax to get something. So for example, we can also type in new object, which is a very expressive way to say the same thing. So then we have the literal version. Same thing with array. I believe we can do new array, and we get an array like this, and then the literal version is just to type the two brackets. So to work with objects, we need to set it equal to a variable. So to do that, we would say var, and then let's say Bob equals an object. So now if we say Bob, we'll obviously get our object back. So if we want to add what's known as properties or simple data to this object, we can say Bob dot, for instance, we could say first name equals Bob, and then we could say Bob dot last name equals Jenkins. And then if we look at Bob, now we have an object with two properties, first name and last name, which is what we just entered. One quick aside, if you start getting a lot of stuff here, you can type clear with some parentheses and it will remove all the text. And we still have Bob. Let's create somebody else, and let's look at another way we can create an object. So we could say like Jen equals object, and in here we can directly say first name is Jennifer and last name is Smith, and it creates basically the same type of thing we just did. Okay, so let's wrap this up with a couple of interesting things. So the first thing is, for each one of our objects, Bob and Jen, we can access the properties two ways. So you can call method style, where you say Bob.firstname or last name, and it's going to return the value associated with that attribute. And then we can also do in square brackets with quotes, and that will return that. So that's pretty much it for this one. Like I said, this is going to be short and simple stuff, and in the next one we're going to go over how to add functions into our objects. Alright, thanks for watching. If you like this and you want to see more, please click subscribe. Talk to you next time.